Harrison Smith. Watch it live right now at band.video. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the American Journal. I'm your host, Harrison Smith. We're coming to you live this Monday morning, the 16th of December, 2024. We got a lot of news to get to today, like an insane amount. We will, of course, give you the latest on the New Jersey drone situation. I think we may have finally figured out what's behind it, and it's as predictable as the sun rising in the morning. It's the government faking a disaster, faking an emergency to grant themselves more power. Who could have expected it? Who could have thought? We'll also be talking about a lot of geopolitical news, some World War III news that you're probably not going to hear anywhere else. And we'll talk about some updates to Trump's incoming administration, which I see people online having a hard time wrapping their minds around.
Oh, I got a little bit of a bubble gut this morning. That's why I'm running late.
Stay with us. Very big show. Let's go first, as we do every day, for Daily Dispatch. Here it is, folks, your Daily Dispatch for Monday, the 16th of December, 2024.
Morning, Claiborne.
New Jersey drone invasion just in time for Congress to reauthorize Orwellian law. With current drone countering authority set to expire on December 20th, the sudden surge in purported drone sightings and the accompanying MSM and social media panic make a bit more sense as an effort to push for the reauthorization of Orwellian drone laws.
Look at that.
A series of drone sightings over New Jersey that began in mid-November
Santa plane there.
has left residents and lawmakers spooked about the possibility of foreign adversaries breaching U.S. airspace with drone swarms. While officials have attempted to reassure the public, some lawmakers have stoked fear, leading to widespread panic on social media, with people interpreting anything.
Yeah, it's not so bad. It was heavier earlier, but it's cleared up pretty much.
And stars. And again, we'll get into this, but you basically had Alejandro Mayorkas give up the game yesterday when he went on the Sunday shows and basically said, hey, look, we'd love to do stuff about this. We just need more authorization. We need the FAA to have more stringent restrictions on the flying of drones. We'll get back into that in just a little bit, but it seems to only be growing in the number of people talking about it and the amount of speculation. I would have expected this trend to die out by now. It seems to only be getting more and more attention. Meanwhile, some good news, some fun news here. Daniel Penny all smiles alongside Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in Army-Navy game suite. Daniel Penny was all smiles as he joined President-elect Donald Trump at the Army-Navy game Saturday. The Marine veteran, who was acquitted on Monday of criminally negligent homicide over the death of Jordan Neely, joined Trump's loyal MAGA gang after accepting an invite to the annual game by soon-to-be Vice President J.D. Vance. Really just another symbol of the sea change happening right now. Very good to see. Very fun to see. Of course, people are pointing to the fact that Elon Musk was there, and next to the suite was a giant poster of Palantir. Don't fall for the games of circuses. Look at who's really pulling the strings and what's really going on here. We'll touch on that a little bit later as well. Meanwhile, OpenAI whistleblower Suchi Balaji found dead by suicide in San Francisco apartment. A former AI researcher turned whistleblower was found dead last month in his San Francisco apartment by way of suicide, according to authorities. Suchi Balaji,
another person committing suicide that had
dead on November 26th.
No reason to commit suicide.
Officers who went to the apartment after being called to conduct a wellness check. The medical examiner's office ruled there was no evidence of foul play and that his death is believed to be self-inflicted, according to the outlet. Prior to his death, Balaji publicly accused OpenAI of violating U.S. copyright law with the generative AI app ChatGPT. The California native joined the artificial intelligence company as a researcher in 2022, but was quickly disturbed by the workings of the image and text generation programs. Back in October, Balaji was the subject of a profile that detailed what he believed were fair use violations committed regularly.
Yeah, my youngest son never showed up. I didn't expect him to.
Filed a letter in federal court that named Balaji as a person with unique and relevant documents that they would use in their current litigation against him.
I don't let that upset me anymore.
Reports. So we're obviously suspicious of that supposed suicide, and it seems like it's becoming increasingly common that whistleblowers just quote-unquote commit suicide shortly before actually going to court and making something of their insider knowledge. Finally, we have this. In Syria, Greek Orthodox Christians are being beheaded and shot in the Valley of the Christians. 2 Greek Orthodox Christians in Wadi al-Nasara, the Valley of the Christians, were murdered in their home during a reported quote-unquote burglary. Saman Sevme and Helena Kashush from the village of Al-Jamasali in Syria's Homs province were brutally murdered in their homes. Although the murder was initially reported as a burglary gone wrong, it later emerged that Saman was beheaded and Helena shot, indicating that there were other motives. According to local reports, random murders in Homs and the coast continue. Pattern of assailants entering a home to murder the victims. At the same time, a video circulated.
That wasn't really a flake out. That was a last minute.
Syria, saying her brother living in Latakia with her mother was attacked by neighbors upon the rebels'
nothing to do with you, man.
telling him, quote, "You're Christians, leave the house. We don't want you."
Going on, you get shit going on.
Of course, showed that video last week. We were talking about this, but more is developing in Syria. Massive bombing campaigns by Israel against many sites, but especially the coastal port city of Tartus, where the
too, but man, it would have been so late by the time I finally got home.
A massive Israeli airstrike.
As it was 11:30 at night.
Possible evidence of the use of.
That's just the stopping at Sheets for gas.
This has to be the biggest explosion I've seen in a very long time, including the hypersonic missiles from Ukraine hitting.
He's talking about underwear.
Russian weapons depot. Things are just getting crazier and crazier.
I'm not going to make this light.
We have a lot of. There's just a lot of news. There's just a lot of news to get to today. And of course, yesterday was Sunday. All the Sunday shows, Sunday political shows happened. And the Democrats are out there really desperately trying to stop Trump from doing what he pledged to do during the election. I hope that they're
tired.
Pleas and whining isn't having an effect. We'll go ahead and listen to him anyway. Clip number 1 is Adam Schiff. He gets mad.
Okay, we kind of hung out with Callahan and
the January 6ers.
Did his stream, and
I have a question about the January 6 parties.
Someone was with us. Nexie was with us. Jody was with us. It was good.
Pardon people that beat police officers, gouged them, bear sprayed them, but also, even beyond that, just the general message it would send George that his first pardons are going to go to people who sought through the use of violence at the Capitol to stop the peaceful transfer of power, that played some role in that. Really, that's who he wants to pardon. The American people, I think, voted for him in part because they wanted something done about crime, not because they wanted to see him pardon criminals attacking the government. They want something done about fentanyl. They want something done about California smash and grab robberies. This is not what they
Wait, aren't you a senator in California, you dumb fuck?
People who participated in an insurrection to stop the transfer of power.
That's where you're wrong, Schiff. That's exactly what we voted for. So
you are the criminal that we are looking to put away, Adam Schiff.
Yeah, and it's your policies that have allowed all of the other things that you've listed. This is kind of the issue, I guess. See, they ran their whole.
I don't know, man. It's a shitty day of the week for it, so I'm probably gonna end up having to work a couple days before or after.
To enact politically.
I've lost a lot of my independence as far as my schedule goes.
Law and order measures. See, you made the argument that he was going for vengeance. You told everybody that the whole point of voting for Trump would be to get vengeance on you, and then he won the popular vote as a Republican for the first time in several decades. So that's what people want, and it's our democratic imperative to give it to them. To stand in the way of the majority will. Of course, it's also just a completely false dichotomy he presents, as if pardoning January 6ers means that would somehow prevent Trump from going after the smash and grab robbers. These are two completely separate things that really have nothing to do with one another. So what are you talking about?
My chest is killing me from
It just
fucking
makes
slamming myself
no
up against
sense
that door.
whatsoever.
That was so
Because we
stupid.
can do two things at once. We
Now
can pardon
I get to
the
pay for it by
prisoners
being in
from your
pain.
despotic campaign of eliminating dissidents, and we can also undo the
Bought a badass cat
laws
tree
that your
yesterday
side
though.
has wrought. And we'll have to work overtime to do that. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be difficult, but it also is absolutely necessary. So get ready. Get ready for
Put
that.
that together last night.
And I think
That was the kitty's Christmas present.
I think he's. It's weird though. He's like advocating for going after the real criminals, and it's like, but that's you though, Schiff. That is you. So are you sure you want to be advocating that? Everybody knows, who's responsible for all this stuff.
Also, I just noticed that he had just
a little bit
crap-eating grin on his face
right underneath
while he was talking about
on my right
pardons,
side.
knowing that Biden is
I figured it
making
would be a little
outrageous
bit.
pardons as he's on it. Just look at him. He looks like he's about to crack. He looks like he's about to lose that deadpan right there. Does that look serious?
Yeah, I try not to look at his face as much as possible, but now you're making me. He does kind of have oh God, I'm getting lost in his eyes. Something's happening here. some sort of living ventriloquist doll is cast some sort of mind control.
I'll get a picture of it.
I
Pretty
really
badass
can't
though.
wait for the likes of Schiff to have all of his dirty laundry aired out for everybody. You talk about one person in government that has associations. I don't even want to talk about this early in the morning. Let's just say he's been present at locations where young drug-addled men met their end. And I think he's terrified of that all coming to the fore. Now we're going to get into the latest with the drones in just a second, since that is still very much a topic of conversation. Before we do that, I'd like to congratulate the Round Earth community for their incredible victory over the Flat Earth this weekend. I believe this guy's name is Jaron. I believe it's his name. He is a leader in the Flat Earth community. And he recently accepted an offer to be flown to Antarctica to prove once and for all that the sun never sets there. In fact, the only model that makes sense of what is imminently observable on the southern continent is the round Earth model. And congratulations to Jaron as well for having the fortitude to admit he was wrong. Let's go down to clip number 11. Flat Earther sent on a paid trip to Antarctica admits that, it turns out the Earth is round. Let's watch.
Sometimes you are wrong in life, and I thought that there was no 24-hour sun. In fact, I was pretty sure of it. But I respect Will Duffy for being a stand-up guy, at least in the way that he kept saying it was true. I kept saying it wasn't.
Morning on.
He said, "You want to go? I'll take you," and brought me here, and it's a fact. The sun does circle you in the south. So what does that mean? You guys are going to have to figure that out yourself. Don't listen to my beliefs or my opinions. It shouldn't matter to you. But at least you should be able to accept that the sun does exactly what these guys said as far as circles the southern continent. So that's about it. I realize that I'll be called a shill for just saying that. And you know what? If you're a shill for being honest, so be it. I honestly believe there was no 24-hour sun. I honestly don't believe there is. That's it. If you want to call me a shill, so be it. I'll live to see another day, and at least I know that I got to see it. I just want to say thanks to Will for everything. You've been at least kind to me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the trip. If you guys want to, my whole master plan works for getting a free trip out here.
I was trying to
I can't even tell you
bust
why
open a
I'm
door in
this
Pittsburgh to an IT room
So
that nobody had a key to until, of course, I busted into it, and then they found the key.
for bringing me down here. $35,000 trip. It's been incredible. It'll continue to be incredible. We've got some tracking mounts swinging around.
Threw myself up against the steel door.
To me, it means that the AE map
and bounced off of it.
But that doesn't mean that I'm right. It means it could work. You'll have to figure out how, because I've tried. I struggle with it. The other thing is the 24-hour moon. When that happens, we got another thing we got to worry about. So it seems like the moon does circulating as well. So start thinking about that as well. It doesn't mean that AE map is over, flat Earth is over. Maybe somebody's got the answer. I don't have that answer right now. So just want to say thanks again. Appreciate it. Yep.
Pretty incredible stuff there.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the obvious thing to say is that there is no flat Earth model that can correspond to this. It's like the least important thing we're going to talk about today, but let's just put this to rest finally and focus on what's real.
I do have some meat marinating though for some jerky.
Eliminate our rights.
I'll start a batch
As
tonight.
Americans, let's focus on the real stuff and not.
Well, I drove fucking 4 hours to get something out of that room. I was gonna get in that room.
The Earth is flat. Let's just move
And
on,
I did.
please.
I just took finesse rather than brute
Can we
force.
please move on?
A butter knife did it when a
pretty devastating blow to the
220
flat Earth community,
pound
but
dude
well
couldn't.
done. Let's continue on the interesting and fun revelations over the weekend. I don't remember whether this needs to be censored or not, so let's be ready to dump in case. But Destiny, aka Stephen Bonnell, went on the Alex Friedland show, and it was pretty great. It was pretty hilarious. I love Adam Friedland and Nick Mullen, what they do with their center-left podcast is really very brilliant. I didn't bring in the clip, but he basically, Destiny's one of these guys that, like, it doesn't matter how many times he's proven wrong, it doesn't matter how, he's arguing against these, like, eminent figures in geopolitics that just have a wealth of knowledge beyond his comprehension, and he just...
You know what's funny is I left it open.
Give the slightest
Fuck
bit
that.
of ground, just continues to put forward his Wikipedia level understanding.
It was supposed to be left open for me.
And then he goes up against Adam Friedland talking about Israel. Adam Friedland just very calmly is like, yeah, it's fine, they should just let Arabs vote. And Justin is just like, oh, yeah, I guess so. And just like totally defeats him. It's pretty hilarious. I have to say, we'll have to bring that clip in too. But another revelation was made during this podcast, and this was that apparently Destiny's mom is a giant Alex Jones fan, which is another hilarious thing. Let's go to clip number 8 now.
I was happy because like 7 or 8 years ago, my mom told me, she was like, I don't watch Fox News anymore. I'm like, oh my god, that's so good for you. I watch Infowars. Yes, actually. You said it as a joke, but that's true. Yeah. I was happy because she went to Facebook and she was getting all of her news from like the memes and then like Alex Jones. Like my mom will send me texts of like, Stevie, look at what this guy said, and I'm like, Mom, this guy tweeted 2 days ago that I was a cut. That's why she's watching.
That's pretty humiliating. I have to say that's pretty humiliating. I guess, this is an open call. Destiny's mom, if you want to come on InfoWars, there's an open invitation. You are welcome at any time, at your earliest convenience.
Coughing and deep breaths are the worst.
Destiny's mom, please give us a call. Let us know when we can make time available to have you in studio or online. We want to hear what went wrong with Destiny. I think it's an important topic of conversation. There's so many great, conservative parents out there living in fear that their son will become Destiny, and perhaps this could be a learning experience. What went wrong? Alex Jones owns Destiny's mom, and that's an extremely fun thing to learn. Let's go now to clip number 21. Again, these are all just revelations from this weekend. This is Stephen A. Smith, who is seemingly always falling for leftist scams until he, like 3 years later, wakes up and realizes what we've been trying to tell him the entire time. It's pretty hilarious how often this happens with Stephen A. Smith. But here he is, saying he's woken up after figuring out that January 6th was an inside job. I'm going to click 21.
The news comes amidst a bombshell report from the Justice Department that revealed the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground when the Capitol was stormed on January 6, 2021. The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos. The Justice Department says only 3 of its 26 informants present had been instructed to observe potential domestic terrorist suspects on the day of the riot. The rest of the 23 appeared to have gone to the Capitol on their own accord. Upon hearing news of the report, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance posted the following on X, quote, "For those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago," end quote. Didn't hear anything about that before the election. Didn't hear anything about that when the quote-unquote insurrection was broached by Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee. The belief that Donald Trump was a danger to democracy and using this as a profound, illuminating bullet point to make that case. And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that process is rigged. My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way. I mean, I see Republicans like Megyn Kelly or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, you know, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of? You know what I'm getting, to the Democratic Party, you know what I'm getting really pissed off about?
They're right.
I'm getting really ticked off, and every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right to make the case that the right had a monopoly on insidious, evil tendencies, corrupt tendencies,
Rain elevator.
duplicitous, hypocritical,
So pretty on the riverside. Gray and drab on the roadside.
Every time they made those accusations.
Nice mural.
We're going to pick this up on the other side. Stephen A. Smith having half of a revelation. We'll fill him in on the other half next.
Please go to thealexjonestore.com.
Midwest, what up, buddy?
Optimal Human is the strongest, best superfood green drink you're going to find anywhere. One little scoop in water, the energy, the focus, the clarity.
This is going to be a quick one. We only got about 5 minutes left before we're at the shop. Glad you made it. I saw you pop chatting there in Telly. Well, my Lions finally got their second loss of the year last night. That was a fucking wacky game. I think they only stopped Buffalo 2 times the whole game. More defensive players injured. Nah. Well, they have to beat them to do it. Later, Claiborne. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, they have to win out though. That means they got to beat the Lions, which they couldn't even do at home. They get to play the Lions in Detroit. And by then, some of the injuries will be back. I hope. Vikings fan? Well, I'm not from Minnesota. Those are fake Vikings anyway. They fucking wear horns. Vikings never wore horns. They've turned Skull into a fucking war chant, and it's a toast. They play tonight, don't they? Or did they play last night? I don't remember. I don't know. The season finale to Yellowstone was on last night. We were watching that.
You're tuned in to the American Journal with your host, Harrison Smith. Watch it live right now at band.video.
Yeah, they did smack the Seahawks around. I think that's Detroit's last game of the year is against Minnesota. Unmarked merch. Hey, send me either your P.O. box or your address so I can mail you this hat. It's been in my car for too long. Send it on Telegram or something. I might have your address. I think. I'll have to look. But yeah, I need to mail this Peterbilt hat. All right, guys. Later. Thanks for riding with me. I don't know if I'm going to go live today or not. We'll see. I may. Let's see how busy it is. All right. Yeah, I have a box in here. I can go ahead and ship it. Peace. Love you guys. Hey, Brandon. Have a good one. I'll probably see you on the main channel. You guys have a great day.